Hey, g'day guys, it's Adam from Video Show Me How, and in this video we're going to be installing a pedal box throttle controller, in our case to our 2021 Isuzu D-Max. Let's get started. Now, big thanks to the legends over at DP Chip for sending this guy over for the install, and the legends there are doing a bit of a discount code for all the subscribers of the channel. So if you're interested in getting your hands on one of these units, stick around to the end of the video. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, but stick around to the end of the video and we'll put the discount code on the screen. So throttle controllers, there are 1,000 different versions of these things out there, and they all pretty well do the same thing. However, there is a chunk of misconceptions around exactly what they do. So in a nutshell, one of these guys is not going to do anything for your engine power. They're not an engine chip. They're not going to give you more killer wasps at the wheels or anything like that. What these guys do is probably less control, more modify your acceleration, and specifically the accelerator response time. So way back in the olden days, you used to have a wire that would run from the engine down to your accelerator pedal, so that when you planted the old foot, it would pull the cable and tell the engine, hey, we need some acceleration. These days though, it's all electronic, surprise, surprise. And how that's achieved is electronically on your accelerator pedal itself, you'll have a potentiometer. And what that does is basically tell the ECU in your engine what throttle position your pedal is at, and then the ECU will give you that much juice. Now, the problem with that, with some platforms, is there's lag, or there can be lag. So what the result of that is, when you plant in the old foot, there's sometimes a bit of a delay before the engine and the ECU get together and actually start making things get up and go. So what a throttle controller or throttle modifier in Video Show Me How language does is it modifies that signal, so that when you're putting that foot down, it's giving you much more instant response to your input on the foot, and the impact of that can be quite dramatic. No doubt you've read different forums or social media posts or what have you about it really transforming the way the vehicle drives, and that can absolutely be the case with one of these throttle controllers. Those generic throttle controllers, all they're doing is amplifying or reducing the actual pedal signal through to your ECU. And there's a level of customization a little bit on that, but this guy has something called Perfect Tune, which will actually tune this to the specific potentiometer in your accelerator pedal for your model of vehicle. So that's pretty cool. And the other really cool thing with these guys is they've got an app for that. You can actually have all of the settings and control all of this unit via Bluetooth, via an app for either your Android or iPhone smartphone. So that in itself is pretty cool as well. But that's enough jibber jabber. Let's pull this little sucker apart and see what we get in the box. We get the throttle controller itself and our wiring harness. We get its little cradle here that it can sit in on your dash. A couple of self-adhesive pads and respective paperwork. So as you can see, pretty standard stuff. The main event really is our loom and our controller. So to get stuck into installing this, we need to jump straight into the cabin. And then for this install, we need to be up underneath our accelerator pedal. And then if we have a look under here, here's our Go Fast pedal. Have a look up a little bit higher and you'll be able to see all our electronics. And at the top, there'll be a plug. Surprise, surprise, we need to pull that plug out. And to remove that one, very similar to all the others, just need to squeeze on the plug on this side here, squeeze and pull up. Just like that. Once it's removed, come down to your pedal box controller and the loom here. We want to then just simply connect this guy on one end and the other one back onto the pedal itself. And then once our little skinny bit's in, we should have this guy here, which is going to look very similar to the factory one, and just clip him into place. And then that, my friends, is you all installed. Now, of course, you probably don't want to leave your nice new toy sort of kicking around on the driver's floor. So it's then just a matter of working out where you want to put it. Whether you want to stick the guy in the cradle sort of down here somewhere. By the way, how awesome is it? How awesome is that? It's kind of it kind of matches the existing D-Max interior. So I think that, just side note, pretty awesome. But basically you want to find somewhere where you can sort of have this guy live, and that's where you want to bust out your little cradle, double side tape on one side, and this guy will just slot into position. Now the other cool thing with the pedal box is because it's Bluetooth, you don't actually need to have this out and about. A lot of the other ones, you've got to have it there to, you know, press the buttons or what have you, depending on where you've got it. Because it's got the Bluetooth app, you can control all of this via the app. So technically you could sort of hide it down in here somewhere. You could easily sort of bundle all of this together with my favorite little tool, the zip tie, and have that completely out of the way if you so chose to. For me though, I'm a bit of a sucker for anything that looks cool, and so, I mean, come on, look at this thing. Look how similar it is to all the rest of the Duco. So I'm a bit of a sucker for that. Also, I love little LEDs everywhere, and this guy's got some little LEDs telling you what's going on that we'll have a look at in a sec. So I want this guy in plain sight for me, and I want to access as well and the cable somewhere to hide. So I'm thinking cable going to run down in there, and this guy is going to sit in just about there. And then from there, you just want to tuck away any of the cable. Make sure you use your zip ties and what have you underneath. The last thing you want is any of the excess wire being tangled in your pedals. And once you're at that point, you are good to go. We just need to tune this now to our D-Max accelerator pedal, and we can do that using the Perfect Tune. And to do that in our Isuzu D-Max, you just need to turn the car onto ready to start mode, but not start it. So foot off the brake pedal, whack your start button twice, or turn the key until you're at this point here and you've got the lights on the dash. What you should see then is a little green light saying, hey, we're working, we're working. Once we're at that stage, we want to hold down the plus and minus buttons for 3 seconds. And there we go, we're now flashing and that's ready to go. We're in Perfect Tune mode. And then once we're in that mode, we want to put the old right foot on the accelerator pedal and slowly push it all the way to the floor till you're at full throttle. Slowly ease off. So 1, 2, and 3. So it's registering that, and then just whack your circle one again for a few seconds, and boom, we are good to go. Now once you're at this stage, you have a green light, you've done your Perfect Tune. Technically you're ready to go, and you can use our plus and our minus buttons here to increase or decrease the sensitivity of our pedal. Now that's sort of your standalone, and you're good to go there. However, to unlock the full potential of this guy and the different modes, that's where you want to jump up to your phone and download the app. Now in this case, we're on an Android device here, so we want to go to our Play Store or your App Store. We download the Pedal Box app, which should be in here. Here we go. There it is, our pedal box, DT pedal box. We just go whack that guy, we install him like you would any other app out there. We open it up. Now once we're at this stage, the next step is to pair your phone with the controller itself. So to do that, we want to put it in Bluetooth mode, hold down the plus button for a few seconds there. It will start going into our blue flashy mode. Great news, because now we can go into our Bluetooth. We can have a bit of a look. There it is. There's our pedal box. Yes, we want to pair. Thank you very much. There's, I believe, 6 zeros. And there we go. We can see we're green. We're green back over here. So if I go, let me change it to sport mode, for example. There we go. We've seen a change. If I change back to city, we get the alterations just like that, and then we can up the increase. So if I'm pressing that on the screen, as you can see there, I'm then getting a Bluetooth update directly to the module itself. So that is pretty cool, and that's why with these units here, you could technically stick that under the dash somewhere, completely hide it away. You wouldn't even know it was in here, and control the whole thing via the app. Now the cool thing with this is these different modes, and I can see these being really useful if you're using your Isuzu for what it's made for, right? For going your own way and all that sort of stuff. So I can see it being really helpful when you are in those situations where you want less throttle. So think of your forward driving on a really tough track and it's sort of rock steps on your way up, that sort of thing. You really don't want a really sensitive throttle in those scenarios. You're in low range, you're low gearing, you want things to be nice and placid. So you could jump across to city mode, for example, which you can fine tune. You can fine tune in here just like that. It will remember that setting there as well. You can see that when I change any of that, it flicks over and remembers that and stores it. So if we went back to sport, for example, and then back to city, it should remember. There you go. So in those scenarios, low range, maybe you don't want very much throttle sensitivity. And then we've got a couple others called Sport and Sport Plus. Now maybe the other end of the scale, maybe you're towing a big load. You know, you've got 3 ton worth of caravan on the back. Check out the video up the top there on our little mish with this guy not long after we bought it. We did 2,600 Ks, you can check that video out. But maybe you want more acceleration because those are the scenarios where throttle lag is going to be a pain in the butt. You want instant acceleration. When you put your foot down, you want to get up and boogie, right? So maybe in that scenario, we want to change this so that in our Sport Plus, we have maximum throttle response for those sorts of scenarios. And then, you know, you can customize the sport mode for somewhere in between. And then finally, via the app, you do have your on-off toggle there as well that you can switch out of these modes and also reset back to default. And on the actual fob itself, you have a similar control where you can hold down your circle button there and turn off the whole unit. So now that we are all set up and ready to roll, it's time to take this guy for a test drive. So here we are all plugged in, and I suppose it's probably easiest to sort of show you the difference between the different modes. So I've got our other app here running in the background, our Torque Pro app, which tells us what's going on with our actual throttle position. You can see the difference between our really a low setting, our lazy mode. If we knock this into neutral, now you're gonna have to trust me on my foot position here, but if I just sort of ease into it a little bit, that gives you an idea there. Now if I do the same, but flick over to full power mode, full response mode, you can see that has a think and then updates. There we go, we're in our defined Sport Plus mode. If I reconnect here and do similar, you can see straight away, look at the difference in the response. Look how quickly that goes up. So we're in our crazy mode at the moment where we're getting maximum acceleration, and it is absolutely ready to pounce, ready to get going. So definitely makes a solid difference. Now I'm cheating quite a lot here because I've got the DP Chip X installed as well. You've probably seen on the other videos there. So those two together though, it's a bit of a lethal combo, and I tell you, it really wakes things up. And I definitely agree with people who say that these modules transform the way that your car can drive. So there you go guys, that's it for another video. I hope you enjoyed the install of our pedal box controller. As promised, if you want to get your hands on one of these units, thanks to DP Chips, they are doing a bit of a discount for all of the subscribers to the channel. And all you need to do to get your self-set discount is 1, subscribe to the Video Show Me How channel, of course. 2, head on over to the website and enter this code. And if you enter that in there at checkout, boom, discount applied. A big shout out to the members of the Video Show Me How channel. Thank you very much. As always, I really appreciate your extra support. You know, share the video with anyone else on your socials or your mates or what have you that you think might also find it helpful. And other than that, guys, as always, I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.